Okay. So what we will do today is that we will check this particular topic, like executing collection via the command line. So in previous class also we discussed this topic, but again I will kind of go through the details again, because there was a case in the previous class when we were trying to execute a collection via the command line. No, it was not picking up the API collection and we were having some issues. So I will try to recreate that scenario, and we will try to figure out why this happened and how to fix that issue. So this particular thing we will cover, and then there are various methods to run the collection from command line. So basically there is one method, there is another one method. So we will see these methods as well in today's class. And then we will see how we can generate the HTML extract report for the collections which we run in Postman. So basically, as of now, we were using, I think, this particular Excel to record all the scripts, right? To record the results, right? What was the actual result? But this can also be taken as an approach, but in advanced form, what we can do is that we can share this HTML extract report. So this reports gets generated, and it contains all the details of the test case and all the request response bodies and those things. So we will have a look into this in today's session. And then we can also create our own APIs. So basically we will go and create one of the APIs and we will try to run it on our system. So it will be a kind of a good learning thing for you guys. And here, whatever the API we will create, we will try to execute all the requests in Postman for the API which we will create. So all the get, post, put, delete, these methods we will execute in Postman for the API which we will create on our system. And then we will also write the test scripts for those APIs. So these things we will try to cover up in the sessions. So let's get started with the first one, like executing collection via the command line. So for this, what does it means that? So it's simple, like here I have the Postman tool open, and here we have one of the collection. So we can execute all the collections from Postman itself, right? We can just go to this collection and we can just click over here and we can say run the collection. And it will just provide us a screen where we will have to check what all the request we have to include, and then we can just put the iteration and we can just run the API collection. So, and it will give all the results and all the things about those requests. So this is one method of running the collection from the Postman tool, from the UI. But right now what we will do is that we will execute it from the command line. Command line means we will use the command prompt, right? The command prompt of our system to trigger those collections. So let's see how we can do that. So for setting up all these executions, we will need some softwares to install, and I have just highlighted those softwares and we will check one by one. So these are the kind of prerequisites if we want to execute the collection via command line. So we will need a Node.js software. So this needs to be there in your system. So for that, we have a link. So basically, if you can just go to, let's say, Google, and you want Node.js, right? Just search over here and go for a Node.js download. And here, the first link, which is the verified link by Google, you can just click the download section. And here we have two versions. One is LTS. So LTS means a long-term support. It means that this version is running for a long time, and it will generally, it won't have any kind of bugs or errors. So we would be good to go with the long-term support. And this is the current release. Current release is something which is having some latest features, so it might have some bugs. So we basically go for the LTS version, and just click on the LTS, and depending on what system you have, like if you have Windows, go for Windows, or Mac, or anything. So basically, I am having a Windows system, so just click on the Windows installer, and here it will get downloaded. The exe file will get downloaded over in your downloads folder. So just you will have to again go to the downloads. You will have a Node.js setup file. Just click on it, and just, it's a very simple installation. Just click on next, right? Accept the agreement, click on next, and then finish it. So it will just show you the path at which the Node.js will set up, and you can just click on next and finish. So I have the setup on my system, so I won't install it, but this is the basic installation of Node.js. So you will just have to click on next, and then it will just go on installing, and it will do the installation. So nothing much complex part is there in this installation. And are you sure you want to cancel? Yes, because I have this software, so I won't install it. You guys can install and let me know if you face any issue. We can connect and do the installation. So once this is installed, once the Node.js is installed, you will have to verify the version. Like you will just have to go to the command prompt, just execute cmd, go to search. Okay, some issue is there with my machine. Okay. There is some issue with the machine. Let's say I open the command prompt from here itself. Okay, yeah. Just go to the command prompt and just verify if the Node.js is installed. Then we just need to verify the version. Node, you will just have to write this node and hyphen hyphen version. Hit enter. So it will give the version. If the installation is a success, then when you will execute this command on your command prompt, you will get the version. So if the version is not coming, then the installation might have some problem and we will have to debug it. So if everything goes good and the installation is a success, then just hit this particular command and verify you are seeing the version. So this is one thing. So this is one of the software we will require. And then again, we will also have to install Newman. So once this is done, Node.js is successfully installed, then you just go ahead and hit this command. We need to install Newman. So just write down npm. I will just go over here. Let me clear the screen. Just write down npm install -g and Newman and hit enter. So this will install Newman on your system. So there is a interview question, like in interviews you might get like the interviewer might ask like what is a Newman tool and why it is used in API testing. So you can just go ahead and tell them that Newman is a tool which helps to run our Postman collections via the command line. So you will have to kind of provide this answer. So what is Newman? Basically, we use it to run our collections from the command line. So this particular software is very much important for that. So yeah, it has successfully installed the Newman, and you just have to verify if the installation is a success. For that, we will just trigger this command, Newman -version. Okay, I am successfully getting the version. So the Newman is also installed into my system. So basically, these two softwares you would require on your system, and just have this concept in mind, like why we are installing Newman and what is its use in API testing. So it's used to run the collection via the command line. Okay, so now we will see one method of how we can run the collection from Newman. So this is one of the methods. Let's see what are the steps. So I have just recorded the steps so that when I share this document with you guys are able to go through the steps and do the installation part. So what we have to do? So let's check. So first we have to export the collection which we need to run via the command line. So it's simple. Just go to Postman, right? So let's say if I want to run this project. So what I will do is that I will just go over here, click on the three dots, and we will say just export this collection, export, and keep the version as 2.1. You can use any of the version, but this is the latest version and it's auto selected. So it's better to go with this and just click on export. So now we will have to choose any default location where we want to keep those files. So I have a folder named API testing day6. So I will kind of let's delete this. Keep let's say I will export it to this location. Okay, in my folders, this is the file and this is the file name, right? So we will just save it over here. Okay, so let's see, this step is done. Export the collection which we need to run via command line. So this is done. The second step is to open the command prompt at file location and execute the command Newman run file name. So what it means is that just go to the location where you saved the file. In this case, it was my folder API testing day6, and here is the file. So go over here, just click on the header and write command, right? CMD and hit enter. So command prompt will open and it will be directed to this particular location. So it's the exact same location where we have placed the file. So we have to somehow direct the command prompt to be at the specific location. And now we can just use the command Newman. What is that? Run. Just a second. Okay, Newman run and then the file name. So let's see what is the file name. So this is the file name. So just copy this. Okay, go over here and paste it and hit enter. So okay, so you can see that it is not executing, and this was the exact thing which we were getting in the last section, if you guys can remember. So we were getting this particular error. So why it is so? The main reason is that, no, I will just let you know. Okay, so the reason is that we are having spaces in this name, and if we will have space, then it will throw this particular error. So to solve this, just kind of rename this file, just remove the spaces over there. So I will just remove a space from here, I will remove a space from here, and now this is the new name of the file. And now if we follow the steps, like if we go over here, write CMD, hit enter, right? And now if we say Newman run and this name, this new name, right? This name without the spaces, now it will run, and just hit enter. So see, now the whole collection ran and all the APIs got executed. So you can see that it had four things like get user detail. Exactly the same thing, it went ahead and ran these APIs. So it was get user details, and then all the test cases are passed. So we have a kind of a green tick. And then these are the test cases which it executed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then for create user, there was 3 test cases. Update user, there were 3 test cases, and delete user, there was 1 test case. And then it is a kind of a short report of what was done. So 1 iteration was performed, 4 requests were there, right? And then assertions 11. So what are these assertions as 11? These are nothing but the number of test cases which were written. So if I go to the Postman, so let's have a look. So in the test section, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 tests for get. Similarly, for post, we have 1, 2, 3 tests, and for put, we have 3, and for delete, we have 1 test. So if we add up all the test cases, then it will show as 11, and that is nothing but the assertions. So if we execute a test case, we are doing a assertion, means verifying the expected and actual value. So this is the thing. And then total run duration, like how much time it took for all the APIs to get executed. So this is that particular time in millisecond. And what was the total data received? So how much data was received from the server for all the APIs. So this is that data. And these are some of the average of the values, like average time, how much the server is taking as an average time to respond back. So this is this time. So these things you can use in the performance testing part. So not much of a functional parameter, but these can be used in the functional test. So this is the kind of a execution which occurred from the command line. So what you have to just note over here is that, so I have just highlighted a note. Ensure we do not have spaces in the name of collection file exported, else execution will not proceed, right? So if we have any space in the name of the collection, then it will, the execution will not occur. It will not take up this proper collection and execute it. So that we should keep in mind. And also, also I will just give you one more example. Like one thing is that we can go to this particular path and open the command prompt, right? The another thing is that just copy this path, and no matter wherever you open the command prompt. I'm having some issue over here. So let's see, command prompt. Okay. So let's say I opened the command prompt. Okay. So in order to navigate to that path, you can use a command called cd, which is change directory, and you can just paste the whole path of the folder. Like just go to the collection where it was. So here is the collection. Just copy this path, right? So this is the path, and just write this command. Cd means change directory to this path, and hit enter. So now the command prompt is directed to the path where we have our APIs. Now we can just use Newman, run, and then the name of the collection. Just hit enter. So again, the same thing, all the scripts ran successfully. Now, what I will do is that let's see what happens when some scripts fail, and how it is represented in the command prompt. So let's tweak some test case. Let's say we are going to change this test case. So here we are expecting the status code to be 200. So I will just go ahead and make it as 201, and let's save this script. So now it will fail because the server will respond back with 200, but here I have set as 201. So now let's check how the failure will look like. So for that, again, I will have to export it. So just once the changes are done, let's once run over here and verify if it is failing. So just go over here and say where it went, run collection. Just run the test. Okay. So now we have one failed test case where this is the test to validate, okay, and here is a assertion failure. Here is the assertion failure where it is expecting to be 201, but it got 200 from the server. So now we can use this collection in our. Now just go to this particular three dots and just export the collection, right? Export it. And now I will save it over here. Let's rename it as failed scenario. Okay, just save it. Okay. And now just open the command prompt, this location, just write Newman, run, and this name, where it is. Okay. So can you guys let me know if this collection will run or not? So just hit the enter. Let's see. So it will not run. Reason being because here we have the we have the white spaces in between, and that's the reason it was not running. So again, just remove the white spaces. So now it's renamed without any space, and now we can again try and run this collection. Just hit Newman, run, and this particular collection name. Okay, so this time it executed, and see, this test, it's marked as red. Red is indicating that it failed. The other tests are in green, so they got passed. And here we have a assertion as well. So the failed test case count, it will highlight it as a red. And it will also provide you all the failure details, like what was the exact assertion error in that case. So just let's have a look at it. So it says this test is to validate status code for getting user details. Okay. And expected response was to have a status code 201, but got 200 from the server, and that's the reason it failed. So this is how the report will kind of the command report will look like in case of failures. So are we clear up to now, guys? Like how we executed it from the command line, the collection?
Yeah, Vinance. 200 is like past test case, is code for past test case, right?
Yes. So what we did
But
is that we just made it as a 201, but basically correct value should be 200.
okay, okay,
And
yeah.
that's the reason, because the server was returning 200, which should be the ideal case, but here Postman compared it with 201, and we uh, kind of a failed this test case purposefully. So I will just correct it again back, like say we will say 200, and now it should be a pass. So if we run this, then we will get all the tests, and this is pass now. So I kind of made the changes purposefully to fail this particular test case in order to show how the reports will look like on the command prompt. So okay, got
Okay,
this?
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Just remember one thing, like whenever you are going to execute, no, just we should not have a space in the name. If we are having a space, then it will not pick up the collection and execute it. So just make sure that we don't have any space, and it's a kind of a uniform name, so it is not having any space. Then the Newman will pick up this collection and execute the test cases. So just keep this in mind, because in the previous class we were having some exceptions, and that was the reason, because we were having some spaces in the name. So that was the reason. So now let's check what is one mode method. So this is called a remote way. I will just highlight it, remote method. So let's see what is that and why it is called a remote method. So here I have just noted down the steps what we need to do. So this is quite simple. Here we don't have to export the collection or keep anything in our local system. We will just use one of the access key which Postman will provide and run the collection. So that is why it is called remote. Here we don't have to get the files to our system, and all the collection will get executed. And just I will show you what that means. Okay. So to run a collection remotely, what we have to do is to go to collection. I will just show you. So let's say if we want to run this collection remotely, just go to this three dots, right? And here we have an option called share. Click on share, and then there are few terms with people via run in Postman or via API. So we will have to go to this particular way, via API. And here some key will be generated. This is a key. So using this key, anyone can have a access to the collection, what is written in this part. So just copy this particular, you have an option to copy it, just copy it, right? And let's say we open a notepad, and okay, let me just open up a notepad. Okay, and I will just paste the copied key. So this is nothing but key. Okay, so the first step was to get the key. I will just write over here, to get the key. So this is the first part. So what we did, we just, this is the collection I want to run. So just click on these three dots, click on share, and go to via API, and just copy this particular whole thing. So this is the key, and this is how I got the key. Now there is step 2. So just open up the command prompt, no matter where you open it. Just okay, search is not working, no matter. So just open up the command prompt, and just you have to write this command, Newman run. I'll just write Newman run, and just paste the key which was copied. So this was the key. I will just copy it, right, and just paste it, and just hit enter. So see, again the whole collection executed, right? The API testing project, the get user detail, all the 4 test case got executed, create user, all the 3 test case got executed, update the user, all test cases got executed, delete user got executed, and again we have a kind of a report on the command line, like one iteration, number of requests, assertions, and everything. So this is a remote way of execution. And why it is called as a remote? Because in this case we are not kind of taking up the collection to our local system. So we are not going and saving it, the collections, to our local system, and then uh, opening the command prompt at this location and executing it. Rather, we are just getting the access key of this collection, right, from share. Just go to via API and get the access key, and just open the command prompt, no matter where you open it, right? Irrespective of the location, you can just open the command prompt and just hit the command Newman run and paste the key. Just paste the API key. So this is one method. and will get executed. Everything will get executed. So got this concept of running the collection via the second method. So how this is helpful is that, so let's say you guys are having Postman installed at your system, and you guys have this software as well, right? You just need Node.js, Newman, and Postman at your place, at your system. And what you need is just this particular API key. So what I will do is now, I will just provide this key in the chat. Okay. So you won't have to do anything. Just you have to just open up the command prompt at your computer, right? And just execute this command, Newman run. I will just also write the command, Newman run, and this key. You will just have to execute this command. And all the executions will happen at your system as well. So this is why it's called a remote method, because you don't need the collection to be on your system. You are just what this command is doing. It's going to the Postman, right? These things are stored in Postman on some cloud location. So it's going to that location. It's accessing those collections from the key which is here, and then it's just using the Newman to run this particular collection. So this is one way of running the collection. So this is method 2, or a remote method. So is this particular thing getting you guys are getting what this particular thing, how we are doing the how we are running the collection using the access key? So I have just posted the things, right? I have just provided it as a chat. You guys can just download the required software on your system and just trigger this particular command in your command prompt, Newman run, and then all the location and all the APIs, whatever I am having. So these APIs will get triggered on your system as well. So this was the topic for execution of collections by the command line. And now we can go ahead and see how we can generate the reports in Postman. So we will use this particular, you can say a software, HTMLExtra Report, and we can go ahead and generate the report. So any doubts as of now, like in any particular topic which we have covered as of now? Then I can just proceed ahead to this particular one.
We're good to go.
Okay,
Camper.
so basically when you will practice no, so I will share this document as well, and you can just go ahead with all the steps mentioned and all the prerequisites, and you can just do it on your system, and you will get all the details. So no need to worry. In any case,
Okay.
if you are stuck, you can just kind of WhatsApp me, and I can help you over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now see what is the reporting part, how we can generate some good reports in Postman. Okay, just give me 2 minutes. Okay. So reporting in Postman. So just get to know that this is HTMLExtra Report, which we use to generate the report. So we have some prerequisites in this case also. We will have to install Node.js. We already did this, right? The Node.js, install the Node.js software, and then just verify the version of the installed software. And then you should have Newman. So we already have this particular tool and this particular tool installed. So now we will just have to install a Newman reporter HTML. So this is one software which we will require to generate the report. So let's see. Just open up the command prompt. Okay. Right. And now just write this particular logic. Just type Newman install -g. I will just copy this, npm install. So this is the whole command, not Newman. Yeah, it should be npm install -g Newman reporter HTMLExtra. You have to just write this particular command and just click on enter. So it's installing the HTMLExtra reporting part. It will take some time, and let's see. Once it is installed, we will go ahead and check the version. So if it is showing the version correctly in the command prompt, means the installation was a success. So I will just wait for a few minutes maybe. Okay. Okay, so now the installation has been done. Let me just clear the extra things. Okay, now we will just go ahead and check the version. So just use this command, Newman reporter HTMLExtra --version, just hit enter. So if it's showing a version, it means that the installation was a success. Okay. So this is the you can say the software which we will require to generate the reports. It's Newman reporter HTMLExtra. Okay. Now what are the steps we need to perform? So let's see. So the steps are kind of the same. So just what I will do, I will just show it from the scratch. Let's remove these things. So the steps are basically the same. Just go to Postman, right? Just export this collection. Choose any particular file path. I will just remove the white space so that it's executed from the command line, and now save, right? So let us check what is the, okay, so steps to be performed. I will just write one step over here. Step 1, export the collection from Postman. Okay, so take this as a step 1. So once this is done, this is step 2 and this is step 3. So export the collection from Postman. So this we did. Now step 2 is open command prompt at file location of the exported collection and execute the command Newman run file name -r HTMLExtra. So now this time what we have to do is that just need to go to this location where we have the API collection. Just hit write command, click on enter. And here we just have to write Newman run the collection name. Just copy this particular file name, right? And we have to write few additional steps like -r and what was it? HTML extra. So till now we were just writing Newman run the file name, right, to run the collection. But to generate the reports, this is the additional thing which we will have to write -r and then this HTMLExtra. So this is also like telling the command prompt that just first execute this collection and then we want to generate the report. So this is the basic meaning of this particular statement, and then just hit enter. So let's see what happens. So in this case, you won't get all the things or all the logs on the command prompt. So basically, if everything is executed successfully, you will just get this, means you won't get any result on the command line. But what will happen is that you will just have to go to the same path where your collection was present, right? And there a folder will get created, which and it will have a name called Newman. And when you will click that folder, no, double click, you will get the result. See, API testing project, uh, along with the date, today's date, and this is the timestamp. So just click on this, and here you can see how the result is getting generated. What is the look and feel of the result? So basically, it's a kind of a setting to change the mode, like we have a light mode or a dark mode, so sort of that. So and then we have 4 columns: summary, total request, failed, and skip test. And this is the Newman run dashboard, and all with all the date, timings, all the things will be mentioned. And this is the total iteration. For one iteration we ran the request. Total assertion is 11, means we were having 11 test cases in this particular collection. Failed is 0, script is 0, and some information about file, and then some timings, like the same thing, like what was the total run duration, or what was the total time it took to execute the request, and what was the total data received, average response time. So some of the performance parameters are over here. And then we will have a kind of a table with all the things, like what was the summary, what's the total field, so what was the request, like how many requests were there, pre pre-request script, so did we had any pre-request scripts or not. So you guys must be aware, like we have a section in every request. If you can go, you have a section of pre-request script. So as of now, we are not having any pre-request script in the APIs. So that's the reason this is 0. And then test scripts. So 4, like in every API, we are having some tests written. And that's the reason it is giving the value as 4, because we have written the tests in all the 4 APIs. So that's the reason it is 4, all the request. And then assertion 11. So this is, you can say that assertion is equal to the number of test cases written. So I will just write down this as well. Anywhere, let's say assertions, or okay, what's taking as this? Yeah, assertions equals number of test cases written in Postman, or you can say number of test scripts. So this is having a value of 11. And skip test, so no tests were skipped, and that's the reason it's 0. And this is the summary page. You can just go to total request page. So here again, it will have a detailed report of each and every request which we fired from the collection. So we have the details of first request, like get user details. So all the things, like what was the method which was used, what was the URL, right? What was the code which we kind of in response, what was the code which we got from the server, time, what was the time, and what was the size of data, these things. And also test pass percentage, whether it was a pass or a fail. And some other details, like what was the headers in the request, what were the headers in the request, what was the headers in the response, and what was the response body which we got from the server. So these details. And then test information. So was the test, so we had 4 test scripts written for the get, right? If I go to get and go to tests, so basically we had 4 test cases: test case 1, 2, 3, and 4. So exactly the same thing is over here. So this was test case 1, and whether it was a pass or a fail, so these values were there, right? And the same thing, like The second was a create user. So this was a post request, and all the details will be there. What was the headers? What was the request body? So since it was a post, so we were having some body over here. So it is also showing what was the request body which was sent from Postman. What was the headers, response headers, and then what was the response body which we got, and all the information like we had 3 test cases in the post section, test case 1, 2, and 3. So all these test cases kind of got executed and got passed. So this is the result over here. So this is for the update user, the same kind of details we will have. So update also, we passed a request body and we got a response body, these things. And we had 3 test cases, and what was the outcome of the test. So everything is there. And the last was a delete user. So the method was delete, the what was the expected response code, these things, and all the details of delete user as well. So this is one of the headers, like total request, right? Failed. There are no failed test cases. So all the test cases got passed. So we don't have anything in the failed section, and then the skip test. So basically this is how the report will look like. So once you generate this HTMLExtra report, you can just send it to the client. Like for the client will request some report from your end, so you can just attach this attachment and mail it to the client. And once you are done with the testing, so he can just open up this particular link, and he will get all the detailed report ready for him. So this is what the HTMLExtra report looks like. And we had the steps recorded over here to run it. So I will do one thing. Let's also mark one of the test cases as failed, and let's see how the report looks for a failed test case. So again, let's see if we go for a post, right? And let's the response code, let's change it to, let's say, 400. Okay, let's save it. So now this test will fail in this particular test case when it will hit the post, and when it will go to the test case 1, so it will fail because we have changed the response code. So now let's export this collection and again run the HTML report and see how the fail report will look like. So I will just clear up these particular things so as to avoid any confusion, and then just let export it again. So it's simple. Again, we have the collection, right? And we have changed this test case purposefully so that it fails. And now again, we will just export it, right? Okay, my folder, Day-6. Just avoid the white spaces and save, right? It's saved. Now just go to the location, write CMD, hit enter, and now write Newman, run this file name, and then for report generation, we have to type -r HTML extra. Done, and just hit enter. Wait for some time, and now it has shown us this line. It means that execution was done and report has been generated. So just go to that particular path, and we will have a folder. This folder will get created once this process is done. Just open up the folder, and again we have the reports. So now it should also have some failures. So right. So yeah, now we have the report, and it's showing a red because there is some failure. So basically, out of 11 test cases, this is the number of test cases which got failed, and also assertion will be marked as red. So when you go to the further tabs, you will get to know in which exact request it was a failure. So this is marked as a red. Just go over here and see why it failed. So here we are getting the total test pass percent as 67. It means that out of the three test cases which we were having, one got failed, and that's the reason it's not showing 100%, but it's showing a 67% as a pass rate. And also when you will scroll down, you will get which particular test case got failed, right? And what was the failure reason. So this was the test case name. This is test to validate status code for user creation test case 01. And this is the reason why it got failed. So expected response to have status code 400 but got 201. So this is the reason why this test case failed. So this is how a failure will be reported. And also we have a failed test case section. You go over here and it will highlight that this is having one failure.
Avinash, your voice
Hello.
is not.
Hello. Actually, the power cut was there and I got kind of a disconnected in between. But am I now, you are able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And also, is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Okay, 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 okay. Okay, so I have just connected my mobile network, so it might be some kind of a lag might be there. So,
No, all fine.
so okay, so now we will have a section of failed test, and it will also highlight that we have one failure and what was the test case which got failed and what was the reason of that particular failure. So this is what a report will look like when we will have some failure in our script. So this was all about, let me open up the topics. So yeah. So this was all about these two topics, right? Running the collection from command line via command line. So we had a look at what were the two methods over there, right? And then how to generate the report from the HTMLExtra report. So now, once you will do some hands-on on this, you will be able to generate the HTMLExtra report. And now, once that report is generated, you can share the report instead of the earlier scenarios which we were sharing with the client. So earlier we were sharing this as a Excel as a report to the client, but you can see that this particular report is having a more good features with it and more kind of a more features. So you can just go ahead and use the report in your testing part. So you can just share this report as a attachment in the email, and your client can just open up the report and have a look at how the API testing is going at your end. So these were the topics for today, and if you have any doubts, you can just let me know, right? And I will try to wrap up the session for today, and you guys can do a hands-on and you can reach me out if you are facing any kind of issue in the Postman part. So till now what we have covered, you can just do a hands-on and let me know if anywhere you are facing some issue, we can connect and resolve that. So
Okay. Okay.
just
Okay.
let
Avinash,
me huh.
yeah, yeah. In two way we can execute a collection, right? Like one is